our coverage of the Prime Minister's rally in Belgavi, but for the time being, Manish Sisodia has been produced in court. Those are the visuals of Manish Sisodia entering the Rouse Avenue Court premises in the national capital. He's been brought there by the Central Bureau of Investigation, which has sought 14 days custody of Mr. Sisodia. It remains to be seen what the court finally decides. But those are the visuals, exclusive visuals of Manish Sisodia having been brought in by the Delhi police as well as the Central Bureau of Investigation to the Rouse Avenue Court for the proceedings now that will be initiated against him. The CBI seeking a remand of 14 days, arguing that the sections of criminal conspiracy as well as other sections invoked under the Prevention of Corruption Act warrants that he be in fact given custody for an extended period of time. It remains to be seen finally as to what the court finally decides. Sisodia's team will of course will also be putting a fairly strong defense in his favor, so we'll have to just wait and see how the proceedings in court now pan out. But this is the only channel that is now bringing you visuals of Manish Sisodia entering the Rouse Avenue Court premises in the national capital. The proceedings against him will soon commence. The CBI brought him from the headquarters to the Rouse Avenue Court. That was approximately a distance of about half an hour that had to be covered, and he's of course being flanked by officials of the CBI as well as the Delhi police as he's now being brought inside the court premises, where the hearing will soon begin with respect to his custody. Let me go across to Madhav Das Gopal Krishnan. Madhav, Sisodia was being produced in the Rouse Avenue Court just a short while ago. We've managed to now secure the exclusive visuals of him being brought within the court premises.
Well, absolutely. And in fact, Manish Sisodia, entering the Rouse Avenue Court just a few moments ago, it's amidst a high drama because there have been elaborate security arrangements. If you can just take a look at the room, Nilashish has told us through sources in the CBI's legal team. Also, of course, Priyank, our colleague, managing to get in a few words with Manish Sisodia. Manish Sisodia saying that it is a political conspiracy, and we'll be playing out that sequence very shortly for our viewers. But a very, very important day for Manish Sisodia, where he in fact has been presented before the judge, and now of course all eyes on what the judges will really have to say. What is also going to be of utmost importance, Siddharth, is what is going to be said by the investigating agency, the CBI, as far as the remand notice concerned, because remember that they have already given the circumstances and explained why they are arresting Manish Sisodia. Is there anything further as far as the interrogation or investigation is concerned that the CBI will be sharing with the court? That will be very important, and therefore the remand application of CBI in that sense becomes very significant in terms of what they will have to say about the circumstances why they need the custody of Manish Sisodia. Remember, he is a deputy chief minister, a serving deputy chief minister, and in that circumstance it makes it extremely rare, the kind of situation that we are currently in. Of course, we all know how he is virtually the number 2 within the Aam Aadmi Party after Arvind Kejriwal, and therefore politically speaking huge ramifications that this entire case has. What really will happen legally speaking inside the courtroom, that's something that we're going to be watching out for very closely. Now that he is inside the court premises, how quickly will the hearing commence, and really how quickly can the matter be disposed of by the judge is also something that we need to look at. Remember, both sides are likely to make lengthy appeals, given that it is a very high profile case. So what really is said during the course of those proceedings will also be materially very important as far as the fate of Manish Sisodia is concerned.
Back to Madhav, what could finally determine the fate of the current proceedings against Mr. Sisodia is whether or not the court is in agreement with the CBI over Manish Sisodia's, the allegation against him that he's been non-cooperative as far as the investigations against him are concerned, and that might also determine the length of the custody, if at all that custody is granted to the CBI.
Well, normally what happens in such high-profile cases is that, yes, you're absolutely right. They would say that he has been non-cooperative, and they've actually written it in black and white in the statement that the CBI released last night at the time of his arrest. His time of arrest was shown at 7:15. The CBI has had plenty of time. They need to produce him, legally speaking, 24 hours after the time of, within 24 hours of the arrest. So clearly, of course, one of the aspects would be the fact that he has not been cooperating. The other aspect is that he's a high-profile individual, and therefore could potentially potentially, influence other witnesses, and as far as evidence is concerned, also potentially could be destroyed. We've seen that line of argument that has been taken in several high-profile similar cases in the past. But what is, of course, very significant, which the CBI will be presenting to the court, and which is why I mentioned that remand application is very important, is that what has changed between November and now. In a sense, what has changed is that the investigation, the CBI says, has led them to several individuals who since have been apprehended, who since are within their custody, and they say that they have received a lot of evidence in the form of documents and otherwise, which they are confronting Manish Sisodia with. They will also say that they need to confront Mr. Sisodia not just with this evidence, but also with the other persons who are associated with this entire case. So these are likely to be some of the important arguments that CBI would present before the court. What exactly they will be saying in front of the court remains to be seen, and that's why that remand application becomes very important in terms of what the agency has specifically said in relation to Manish Sisodia and why they need his custody for 14 days, which sources are indicating they are very much going to do. Back to you,
and Madhav, what can we expect the defense on the part of Sisodia to be arguing before the court? Because what we're getting to hear is that they might apply for regular bail. What is that likely to now entail?
Well, they are, of course, going to apply for regular bail is what we are hearing as far as the defense is concerned. But, one thing is very important. Why these arguments become very important is that so far we have heard political allegations and counter-allegations when it comes to the Aam Aadmi Party, who've said that Manish Sisodia has thus far been targeted because of the good work that he has done in the education department, and in fact virtually building more classrooms, ensuring better quality education for the children of Delhi is what the BJP wants to target, and that's why Manish Sisodia in particular has been targeted. This has been the political claim, misuse of agencies, so on and so forth. Now, for the first time, we will be hearing what the defense's legal arguments are as far as Manish Sisodia is concerned. They may very well say that he's being targeted because he's a political personality, but do they have something to prove strongly that he has been targeted, or do they have something in his defense in terms of what they can present before the court? That's something that we have to watch out for. We haven't heard quite yet the specifics of what the legal defense of Manish Sisodia will be, and that's something that we'll be hearing for the first time during the course of these proceedings.